So there are important lessons to be learned from fair trade, even if it's not applicable to pineapples in Taiwan, for example.
所以关于公平贸易，我们有许多东西，它的概念是我们要学习的。他说，举例来讲，可能像凤梨，台湾的凤梨，它是不适用在公平贸易上面的。
In the fair trade system, the farmers have some obligations, and the buyers have some obligations.
在公平贸易上面的话，就是说，卖家他今天有一些选择，有一些责任义务，那买家也有同样的也有一些责任义务。
The farmers are required to form democratic cooperatives.
今天生产者就是卖家，他们有责任义务要去成立一个组织一个类似像合作社这样子的团体。
The economic importance of this is that it recognizes that these farmers are too small to access the market individually. So if they come together, they can get enough produce together to sell directly to the market.
那因为通常小农他们如果只是个别的话，他其实可能在产量上他是没有办法去销售到市场上的。但是如果说今天你把它聚集在一起的时候，它其实可以生产更多的东西，然后是有足够的量可以去卖到市场里面。
But cooperatives also serve another important purpose.
但是他刚刚提的这个合作社，它还有几个另外更重要的目的。
They provide community organization that often allows farmers and their families to participate in decision making about economics and social issues for the first time in their lives.
他这个合作社，他提供了在社区里面的农人跟家庭，他们有一个机会可以去为可能他们这个共同团体的经济去做一些决定，或者其他的议题，可能在他人生里面第一次有资格可以去为自己的一些事情做一些决定。
And creating strong communities is as important as a price.
那去建造一个社区的凝聚力，跟拿到好的价钱其实是同样重要的。
So on the buyer's side, we are required to recognize that the price of coffee is an international price. It is not made by the farmer. It's not a relationship between the farmer and me. It's created on an international level, and that price isn't fair to the farmer.
那买家的部分也必须要去理解到说，我们之前的那些咖啡的价钱其实是一个国际公定出来的价钱，但那个价钱并不是我跟农民之间直接去定出来的一个价钱。
So in fair trade, the farmers and the buyers get together in a formal organization called FLO, Fair Trade Labeling Organizations in Europe, and they set a minimum price.
那所以公平贸易就是说，让买家跟卖家他们会在一个时间在欧洲会聚集在一起，然后这个组织叫 FLO， 就是FLO yes
Fair Trade Label Organizations.
Fair Trade Label.
公平交易劳工组织，公平贸易的
工会 OK， 公平贸易类似公平贸易工会这样的组织，那他们会在这个场合里面去讨论他们的价钱。
Okay, so in this process, the farmers say what they need to pay for their children to go to school, what they need to feed their families, what they need to fix their homes, what they need for a small profit so that they can advance their lives. And the buyers say that's too much. Or, okay, we can do that. So it's a negotiation between the buyer and the seller.
所以在买家的部分，生产者的部分，他就会在这个时候告诉他们说，我需要的是什么，我可能需要多少钱来去养家，或者我需要多少钱来做我自己的孩子的教育，或者我需要多少钱来盖房子，然后可以让我的生活是可以稍微的好一点点的这样。那卖家在这个时候，他也会同样去跟买家之间做一些协商。
So that provides a minimum price. So when the international market price goes down below the minimum, we fair traders agree we will never go lower than the minimum because that's what the farmers need to survive.
所以在这个会议里面，他们会去定出一个最低标，就是最低的价钱，是农民他们所需要生活所需要的最低价钱。那当国际市场的价钱低于这个最低标的时候，这些买家都会同意说，我们愿意付那个 我们不会付到那么低的价钱，我们会付到那个就是由农民他们所定出来的最低标。
When the international price goes above the minimum, the fair traders agree always to pay 20 cents, basically well, 20 cents is like 10 NT dollars.
6-7块。
Okay, we always agree to pay more than the international price as an incentive for the farmers to stay involved in fair trade.
More than the international price.
When the international price goes up over the minimum, passes the minimum, we agree we will always pay more than the international price as an incentive to keep the farmer interested in fair trade.
那所以刚刚讲的那个最低标嘛，那但是今天如果国际市场高于这个最低标的时候，这些公平贸易的买家，他们也会同意去付这个更高的价钱，甚至是更高，比这个国际标还要再更高的价钱。然后这些钱是用来做那个生产的社区的一些发展的工作。
And it's very interesting to know over the years what the farmers have accomplished with the extra money.
所以他刚刚讲说，其实他要付那个更高的价钱，有个目的就是说，也是要让这些农民他们对于公平贸易这件事情是更有兴趣的。那他接下来要分享就是说，当他们在做这些事情里面，钱这个所收获的价钱是比他们的最低标还高的时候，他们所做的一些事情，这样。
Most farmers around the world are what we call primary producers. They create a crop and they just sell it without any further processing.
那通常我们大部分的农民，我们都称为他为初级的生产者，就是说他们只是生产东西，然后就是卖给别人去处理。
So a small farmer who's a primary producer is going to be poor. That's it.
那通常这样子的初级生产者，他就结果就是会变得很穷。
So by forming these cooperatives and collecting the money together, pooling the money together from fair trade, the farmers start to invest in the community's future.
那所以当这些农民他们是组织起来的时候，然后
They pool, they collect the money together, the fair trade premium, the extra money, and they use it for community development.
所以当他们组织起来，然后这个公平贸易的他们也一样，就对于这群群体，然后他们就是买，它不是单一的跟农民买而已，它是集体的买，所以这些收得的金钱，它其实也是一个比较极大量的，所以这个比较稍微大量的钱，它可以再回馈到社区里面去做使用。
So almost every cooperative I have worked with follows this same pattern.
那几乎我一起工作的这些合作社，几乎都有这个模式。
They start out by just selling the raw material, the cherries, the coffee cherries, the red beans.
他们卖的时候几乎都卖出去的就是生豆而已。
Then they start to buy the processing equipment.
那一开始是卖生豆，接着他们就开始去买一些处理这些东西的器具机器。
Then they buy the packaging equipment.
然后接下来他们又买了可以做包装的机器。
After that, most of them get an export license.
然后大部分的他们接着又可以把他们东西得到出口的认证。
So over time, instead of the farmer just receiving the money for the primary ingredient, now the farmer captures the value of the entire supply chain.
所以在经过长时间之后，他们已经从本来只是初级生产者，他们只能卖他们的原产物，到后来他们其实已经可以处理整个那个出货的过程。
So this has been a very powerful tool for small cooperatives to bring money and resources into their communities over time.
所以对于这些小社区来讲，去把它
It's been a very powerful tool for communities to bring money in and use that money to develop their communities over time.
所以对于他们来讲，他们很重要的就是说，他们能够去得到更多的钱，然后去发展他们这个社区所需要的一些事情。
But a good product and even good money is not really enough to sustain and develop a community. Coffee is only the entry point. Coffee is the first step in community development.
但是当然，你今天要做社区的发展，只是靠一个产物或一个东西，其实是不够的。咖啡对他们来讲，只是一个做社区发展的一个进入的媒介而已。
The farmers must diversify and do other things in addition to coffee if they want their communities to stay strong and their standard of living to rise.
所以，如果他们想让他们的社区发展得更健全的话，咖啡绝对不会只是他们要做的唯一一件事情。
So let me share a few of the examples of what farmers have done. I can just talk about it. If you can, go ahead.
所以接下来他要分享几个他们跟一些农民合作的一些发展的经验。
So we have a program at Dean's Beans called People-Centered Development, and the idea is to use innovation and social enterprise to bring important community development to the farm communities besides coffee, but based on their organizing around coffee and the money from coffee.
所以在丁氏咖啡里面，他们有几个发展的几个跟社区一起合作的发展的例子。那在这些例子里面，其实他要去做的是一些跟社会企业有关的东西，他就不会只是一个关于咖啡产业去卖咖啡这件事情。
Okay, the way we do community development is totally different from the way large-scale international organizations do it. I've had a lot of experience in that world, and so the model we have created is completely different.
那他们所做的这些发展计划，跟其他的那种比较大型的一些机构在做的，或者公司在部落里面做的那个模式，会觉得完全的不一样。
The idea is that we create programs together with the farm communities that are controlled and managed and designed by the farmers, not by us or a big organization.
所以他们的有一个目标，就是说他们要这个计划是他们跟农民一起去讨论决定出来的，甚至后面的监控控制都是由农民来做这些工作，而不是由他们或者是其他的组织来做这些事情。
Because I truly believe that only development that starts with the grassroots, with the people, will stay viable, will stay around. Otherwise, when the international organization leaves, the project slowly disappears.
因为我相信的是说，只有这种出自于草根的这些计划或发展，才会真的永远永续的留在部落。那这些外面来的不管是国际的组织还是什么组织都好，通常他们只是做了就离开了，然后这些他们留在部落的计划就慢慢的消失不见了。
So how exactly do we do this? And I'll only take a few more minutes. We start by listening. Listening, one more. That's it. One more. That's it. We start by working directly with the communities. We do not bring in international NGOs or other organizations to sit on top of the community and tell the community what the program is. We work directly with the community.
所以我们做的就是直接的跟社区做合作、做工作，而不是说我们带来一些别的组织，然后这些组织就在部落好像高高在上去告诉你要做什么。
The difference is the community is our partner, really our partner. In the other situation, the community is a client.
那所以在这个状况里面的话，这个社区是他们的伙伴。
This may sound obvious, but it is not. If you've worked in a big organization or the government, you know that. We listen and we observe.
那这个我们倾听跟我们观察这件事情，似乎应该是非常的理所当然的才对。但是通常在政府的计划或者这些外面的组织的计划，通常是做不到这个事情的。
So it may take a year for us to develop something with a community, but we do it because we've been listening to the community and asking a lot of questions about what are the issues in the community and how the community wants to change.
所以我们所做的是，我们花好几年的时间去跟部落的人跟社区的人沟通讨论，你们需要的是什么？
One example.
有一个例子是。
I was in a small indigenous community in Guatemala, I was there meeting with a women's group, and with me were 2 women reporters from a Guatemala newspaper.
我在瓜地马拉有一个经验，就是做一个
A women's group, a women's program at a cooperative. Yeah.
那个妇女团在讨论事情的时候，有2个瓜地马拉女性报纸的记者到了那个现场。
And the reporters wanted to get information from the women about their lives. So the reporters said, "What are your problems here?"
那这2个女记者就想要去了解这个妇女她们身上有什么样的议题，所以她就直接问她说：“你们到底有什么问题
Do you have problems with the men?"
你们跟男人之间有任何问题？
And every time they would ask a question, the indigenous women would just sit there quietly.
通常每当他问这2个记者问他问题的时候，这些原住民妇女就只是安静的坐着。
And this became a little embarrassing.
然后就其实场面就越来越尴尬。
So I asked the women, the indigenous women, "May I ask a question?" And they said, "Sure, go ahead."
然后所以我就举手问这些原住民妇女说：“我可不可以问你们一个问题？”然后这些妇女就说：“没问题啊，尽管问。”
So I said, "What I would like to know is how you would like your son and your daughter's life to be different from your life."
那我问他们的是，你们想要你们自己的儿子跟女儿有什么样的生活？这个生活跟你现在所有的生活是有什么样的不同？